I have a period of meditation and prayer.
This is my second cousin, Ricardo, Juarez.
Thank you.
He's your first cousin.
Right. He's my first cousin, but he's number 2 in the line. Okay. Okay, should we play this?
Huh?
Do we play this?
No, not yet.
Oh.
And what we're going to do today is an aspect, the people who have said that black history should not have to be concluded at the end of February. And it appeared that an important part of the African history that was transferred to this country by virtue of the diaspora and the fact that people from Africa went to Brazil, and from Brazil they were transported to the islands in the West Indies, and from that area to the United States and landed at Jamestown. So a large number of cousins were created by this whole enslavement process. And the traditions of Africa were transferred to this hemisphere by that process. And one of the great traditions that was transferred was the musical tradition, which included the theological traditions which are musically involved in terms of groups like the Santeria and the Voodoo, and the way in which Christianity has been interpreted by black people living in America. So in order to give us a better understanding of both the language and the feel of this transfer of Africanness to the United States of America, we have Ricky Juarez, who is a musician and also a scholar in this particular idea of the transfer of culture and ideology and theology.
I would say that I was born into a musical family. They all danced. They all liked music of all types of genres, languages. But I would say that my primary opening, or my primary introduction to Latin music, as it were, with all the percussion and everything, was laid foundation on about spring of 1962, when I was babysat by one lady. Her name was Maria Elena Bando. She had 7 children, 6 of them girls, all of them piano players. She spoke no English, and the only programs that she would be able to understand and see were those that were afforded to us by cable or by channel that announced in the Spanish language only, or the Lucy Show, which featured Ricardo and his band. When I would see him, he would, amid all the comics and theatrics, toward the end of the show, he would perform with his band. And a total disregard for the brass and so on went away with me when I sat in front of the television and I saw him perform. He would take his conga, sling it over his shoulder, and he would play along with the band while singing. That's one of his many performances. So I go back down and I'd say, that's music. That's music to me. However, my family was also adept at that. They said they knew that and even more. So they would have a host of different LPs available with Spanish music from Mexico, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, Cuba. One of them, though, struck me particularly deep when everyone, circa about 1964, I would say, when I was old enough to enunciate, everyone tried to get me to sing this song. And when I did, they went. Absolutely. They gave me the biggest standing ovations and the biggest accolades, and I would say it would give me stage fright because they expressed themselves so deeply in appreciation for my ability to sing the song. Tanto de este amor, nuestras almas se acercaron tanto así, que yo tomando tu sabor, pero tú llevas también sabor a mí. See, she's doing it already. Llevarás tu presencia en tu vida, más allá, una avanzada de comenzar. Tanta vida yo te di, que por fuerza tienes ya sabor a mí. See, they're doing it. Circa 50 years ago and now today, still the enthusiasm still is alive and well. Anyway, they made such a big deal out of it. I didn't think it was a big deal. I think it was just a natural. I was a natural at singing, not to pat myself on the back. I said, wow, I can really do this. And I continued to do that, and then it helped not only that, it helped my Spanish when I was going to my babysitter's house, Mama Maria Elena, who spoke no English. It helped me along, and I was able to understand, and I was able to comprehend both languages, you know, in unison, not speaking one more than the other. Later then, in 1966, my stepfather, whom married my mother, and he was a timbal player. Timbales, as you know, are what Tito Puente, anybody who's familiar with that, is two drums, one bass and one lead, played by sticks with an open bottom, hollow bottom, and they're metal. And they stand up and they play them like this. And I would say, wow, this is played with sticks, but I want to play with the hands. So I would see him on a local station. He would go to a TV station where they would invite local talent like himself to play after they give little skits and give local talent a play, because in that time there wasn't many venues for our music, anybody's music, to be broadcast live. And I say, wow, not only does he play something that I like, but that guy over there, boy, when he sits down, you know, seeing him in the other corner, and he's sitting down at this big drum, this big old drum, and just banging away, and I like that sound, boom, 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 and it sounded on a bigger scale. It wasn't the bongos, it was the congas. I said, I gotta get that one, I gotta get that one. I'm gonna save all my money. I'm not gonna eat candy, I'm not gonna eat pop, I'm gonna save all my money, put it in a jar, I'm gonna afford that one day, me all of 10 years old. Then came 1967, we moved to Halsted Street. Halsted Street was a big revelation to me because practically everyone on Halsted Street was Hispanic and largely of Puerto Rican descent. So Puerto Rican descent, Hispanic, and I see them in the summertime. We did move there in the summer, and even in the summertime, when they got the feeling, and they did get the feeling, they would bring out their guitars, the cuatros, which is a 10-string guitar of shorter build than the regular 6-string. They bring out the 6-string, and they bring out the tres, which is a 12-string guitar, so that they can complete the scale, the harmony scale that a piano would, so they can have a complete band. But along with them keeping the rhythm was the conga player. And they'd sit on the steps, elevated steps, across the street, down the street, and everybody would just be and they would do it with such ease. I said, I can do that. I'm not a sports guy. I don't play baseball very well. I don't play basketball. I'm not interested in that stuff. I want to play the congas. So 1971 comes around, and I have my money saved up, which at that time I had enough money where I could buy schools and I could buy school supplies and clothes for high school the coming year. But no, I wanted a conga drum. I didn't quite have enough for that conga drum, so my grandfather, Eddie Starks, said, you know, son, you want it that bad, I'll get you that on graduation day. So there he did. He got me a conga drum. We went down to Sajewski's shop, which is on Milwaukee and Ashland, was at that time. And we got this conga drum. They said, okay. So they had that strap that Desi Arnaz was able to support the conga over his shoulder with and play. I said, oh, it's got everything I need. So it had a handle. It was about this tall. Even though I was about this tall, I still was able to hit it. But yet, I still wasn't able to produce the sound that these other guys had.